Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. It's Pereira that decided that they had to record that video. Why? Because it was planned in the beginning of the day, especially after the win of Bologna against Lazio, which made my mood super high on Friday. But then, I said, I will wait. If there is that small surprise on a Friday, maybe we can have even more surprises on a Saturday, especially when Napoli, Inter, and Milan, the direct rivals, are playing. And the importance of tomorrow's game will also depend on the results of today. So I said, surprise on Friday. Let's see if we have a surprise. But then I tell you, after Napoli win, and I watched the game, after watching Atalanta Inter and Inter won, my mood was low. I said, I give up. I give up on Serie A for today. It's over and I will not even record the video. Why? Because what do you want me to recap? That they all won and that Juventus tomorrow against Fiorentina, they have to win to stick there and to not creating gaps. I said, you know what? I give up. But then Pereira in the second half scored a penalty that also gave them the 3 wins, first victory of Udinese in 23-24. And I said, what? I will record a video. I will recap the 3 games because tomorrow is important, but that game of Milan is giving even more importance of the game of tomorrow. Small little update tomorrow. Fiorentina Juve should be played. I always say should because you never know about the last minute decision. I hope not because that would be really a shame. I think that if you consider that the game had to be cancelled for everything that happened in Firenze, you had to do it in advance, saying to the people, don't travel, don't come to the city because it makes no sense, it may be dangerous, and that would have been totally understandable. But from the moment that you are saying nothing, that you are giving green light, that everyone is traveling, I consider that if all the security levels are okay, you have to play. And tomorrow we should play. Anyway, that's under brackets. Let's go back to the games of today. I told you, Milan losing gave me, a bit of energy, especially because my memory is not bad. And I remember a post of October the 1st, 2022. It was a press conference of Max Allegri before playing against Milan, with Max Allegri saying something and Pioli that was making a bit of fun of it, and I didn't appreciate it. I have a good memory and some things I don't forget because they are annoying me. I will come back on that one when we'll speak about Milan Udinese. Anyway, let's start with Salernitana Napoli. Napoli that started without Osimhen, we know it, he's injured, but they started quite well. 13th minute goal of Raspadori. Controversial goal, I will explain you why in a second, but they go immediately, they take the lead 1-0. He said, 13 minutes, the game is already over. Salernitana has not been really dangerous. They tried once or twice, but honestly, not that they were putting Napoli in danger. But it's true that Napoli was not or is not anymore the brilliant team of last year. They had some difficulties to go on goal. Ochoa did his part, even if at the end he conceded 2 goals, did his part, saving a few shots from Raspadori, for example. Politano hit the post, but they were not able to take the lead until the 82 minutes with the goal of Elmas. 2-0 stories. Actually, no, Napoli deserved that win, and it is what it is. But of course, there is a controversy that a lot of Juventini were speaking about on social media, because that first goal at the 13th minute could become a goal because of an offside. And is it true or not that it was offside? Well, the goal himself, no, Raspadori was not offside. He take that ball into the box, a bit slight on the right side. He's going with a rocket in the goal. Ochoa couldn't do anything about it. It's totally deserved. But the beginning of that offensive phase, you have a pass to a player of Napoli that is offside. The referee of the line referee is not even watching. I don't know. He's watching something totally different, so he's not even able to understand that the player is offside. For me, it's a big, huge mistake of the line referee because he should have said it is offside and stopped it immediately. He didn't because he was not watching. He was watching something else. So they continue to play 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass. Salernitana takes the ball. They lose it again and then it's goal. Okay? So a lot of people are furious. They are saying it's not okay. Juventini, it's not okay because the goal is coming from an offside. If it was Juve, they would have gone to the past, to when you remember when Moiskin was 13 years old, to find that there was an offside. Correct or not? Yeah, probably, maybe. We'll never know. But then it's true that you have also the rules, the books. And what are the VAR rules saying? That if there is an offside that has not been seen by the line referee or by the referee, they are not whistling it and you continue to play after two passes, but especially if the opponents are taking the ball back and they're losing it, the VAR, so video assistant referee, can't intervene. They can't go back and say, oh, referee, there is a possible offside in the beginning of it, you have to cancel it. Is it a stupid rule? Is it an annoying rule? Is it something that for us Juventini, that we know that if they have to go to the bird of Moiskin, they will go without hesitation? Of course it is annoying. Of course it's an annoying rule, but the rule is the rule. So that goal, unfortunately, that is coming from an initial offside, according to the books of the rules, it is a valid goal. It is what it is. But you know what makes me angry? It's that nowhere on internet, and I'm speaking about the non-Juve people, non-Juve media, non-Juve journalists, they are speaking about it. They don't care. It's okay. And if this would have happened and giving the lead to Juventus, I'm sure that it would have been again a scandal, controversy, big pages, not like that, Juve and so on. These are the things that for us, it's not really nice. When it happened to other teams, it's okay, it's fine, look at the books, it's fine, we close it and it's okay. If it was Juve, probably they would have said, we don't know about the books, it is offside, we go back, and then 2 days later, sorry, we made a mistake, but nobody made a mistake. You know what the story, that's annoying. Anyway, Napoli deserved to win. We go to the Atalanta-Inter game, where I had some hopes, of course. I wanted or a draw, or if I had to choose, Atalanta to win. Actually, I preferred Atalanta to win. Didn't happen. I have to say that I was, in a way, negatively surprised about the game of the first half, because it was kind of boring. Not a lot of things happened. Dominance of possession, and also even the average block of Atalanta was higher, so Atalanta was better in shape in their home, and then out of nowhere, penalty. Was it a penalty? Yes, it is a penalty for Inter, so they didn't do anything about it. By the way, it's the first shot on goal from Inter arrives at the 40th minute when they scored that penalty. Before that, no shots on target for Inter. Deserved 1-0? No, in a way, but it's not that Atalanta was doing much better. Then the second half starts, and we didn't have to wait really long, because Lautaro is scoring a goal, 2-0. First he scored, was cancelled because of a correct offside. Then he scores another goal, 2-0. 12th goal of the Argentinian guy. Is in top form, 12 goals in 11 games. The second one is Osimhen with 6. Can you imagine? He has double the goals, even if Osimhen is injured. And then, a few minutes later, maybe, and that's where you have a bit more hope, because Scamacca is scoring a goal. You have a 2-1 that will be the final result. What do I have to say about that? I tell you that Inter didn't impress me in the first half. They didn't even play. Maybe they are saving energies, but it's strange to do it against Atalanta on a 0-0, because they were thinking about Champions League. I have no idea, but not an exceptional Inter, but at the end they win. And they win because the men on the field that started, but also the bench that they have with really great players that are able to enter and to decide that game, which probably Atalanta has a bit less, because if you see that Charles de Ketelaere is not starting, he's coming from the bench, and he's offering a few minutes that were absolutely not great. I said that it would have been the revenge season of Charles de Ketelaere at the moment. I'm totally wrong. He did well the first 2-3 games, and then he disappeared again. He's not anymore a starter, but even when he's coming from the bench, he's not doing well. So it is what it is. But also there, a controversial thing, because on the goal of Atalanta, which I was happy that they scored, let's not complain, but it's true that Lookman is taking the defender, he's putting, I believe it's Di Marco, and he's putting him totally on the ground. Just like, pulling the shirt, the defender is on the ground, then he's doing the assist, goal of Scamacca. Does it change the result at the end? No, it's 2-1, it finished 2-1. But it's true that, when we saw what happened with goals cancelled to Moiskin, etc., this is the annoying part. There is no uniformity. It's never like, okay, it's one rule for everyone. And here, that goal should have been cancelled. Honestly, it should have been cancelled. Really, really strange situation. For one team, it's okay. For the other team, it's not okay. Then we let play. For the other ones, we whistle immediately. For the other ones, we wait until the end to understand. It's really strange. But game, I have to say, the referee was absolutely not perfect, because he gave some yellow cards in the beginning of the game to Atalanta, the 26th minute to De Roon, 35th minute to Kolasinac. This was a bit influencing a team like Atalanta that is really aggressive from time to time. So was it really deserved, these yellow cards? Probably over the top. We had to wait the end of the game to see a yellow card for Inter. that even the Bergamaschi, the supporters of Atalanta, at a certain moment were applauding in an ironic way because they said, finally there is a yellow for Inter. Inter players that played in orange today, mamma mia, how many players? Every single minute they are on the ground crying, complaining, disaster. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Then maybe speaking a few seconds about Çalhanoğlu, 10th penalty in total for Inter, 10 goals. This season, 4 penalties, 4 goals. I believe the last one that he missed was in 2017. Çalhanoğlu is one on the penalty spot that is fantastic. And that goal of Lautaro, and then we go to the last game. Goal of Lautaro, it's not a player that I appreciate, that I like. The team, no, but the goal is beautiful. The goal is beautiful. He's taking that ball, putting it on his right side easily, and then go. Bravo. Chapeau, beautiful goal, but anyway, I don't want to praise Inter too much, so let's go to the end game. Milan 0, Udinese 1. I didn't watch the game, so I can't tell you too much who played well, who didn't play well. I have no idea. I can tell you that at the end, the supporters were whistling, all the players, or at least the one that went to the curva, because not all of the players went. Pioli said that the supporters were correct, and if there was someone to whistle even more than the other one, it was himself. So taking accountability, responsibility for it, which is always nice. First win of Udinese, I told you. But speaking about responsibility and speaking about accountability, I would have loved that Pioli said, maybe that Allegri was right on the 1st of October 2022, so a bit more than 1 year ago, when Max Allegri, in press conference before Milan Juve, or Juve Milan, I don't remember, said, this is a virtual Juve. Try taking away 5 starters from Inter or Milan, and we will see if they struggle. And then we saw a Pioli the day after or the evening, listening to the words of Max Allegri, mocking a bit Max, saying that it was a bluff from Allegri, etc., etc. I remember my good friends of IFTV were even mocking Allegri the day after because Milan won that game 2-0, I believe, and they were mocking Max with here is the lesson of Pioli, with also injured player that is able to beat a Juve. I remember, or I want to remind, that Juventus had a lot of injuries every single week of important players. Do you remember Paul Pogba, Di Maria, etc., etc.? How many players did we have injured last year? It was a total disaster, and it was really difficult because we had other players that were playing game in, game out, game in, game out. We were playing twice a week, so we had some excuses of energy, and people were mocking it. Now, today, Milan is struggling. They were missing Caldara, Teo Hernandez, the second goalkeeper Sportiello, Pellegrino, Benacer, Kier, Chukwueze, Kalulu, Pulisic. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players. Not all of them are starters, of course. But when you're missing all these players, it's tough, especially when you have to play twice a week, especially when you are rotating, especially when you are a bit in a negative spiral of difficult results. We know it. It starts to be tough, and then it's difficult to reach these kind of huge results and continuing to win. So I would have loved that Pioli said, you know what, probably Max Allegri was right. I tell you, our coach, our team, they are never complaining. Do we have injuries? Do we have point deductions? Do we have this? Do we have that? We don't complain. Sometimes I would have loved that our team, our coach is complaining a bit more. Not to find excuses, but to explain things as they are, which, according to me, sometimes they are a bit too much silent. But one day, Max said, and it's true, if you're taking 5 starters away from an Inter, from a Milan, it's tough, it's difficult. Then you can play without 5 starters for 1 game, for 2 games, and achieve a result. But having continuity with a lot of injured players, it's difficult. That's what I wanted to say. Ragazzi, what is important for the ranking of Serie A tomorrow? Well, with Inter winning, they are at 28 points. They already played. We have at the moment 23. So winning tomorrow, we stick there at the -2 from Inter with 26 points. Playing against Cagliari next week. And then after the international break, we have Inter. So we have to stick there. Otherwise, if tomorrow we lose, Cagliari game we win, and if Inter continues to win, that game that we play against Inter will not be as significant because we will still be behind winning them. And I would love that we go into that game, the Derby d'Italia, where a win not only give us the 3 points, but give us also, the jump over Inter in the ranking. That would probably demolish them mentally, because and they lose a game and they lose that first spot of Serie A. But Milan losing is a good news for Juve, because they have 22, so whatever that happens tomorrow, we are still over Milan, we are still over Napoli. But pay attention, because losing tomorrow, Napoli is now at -2 from Juve, and that's a bit the dangerous part, the tricky part. Atalanta already played, they have 19 points. I'm just going with recapping the teams. But that's why the game of tomorrow is important. Sticking with Inter, but paying attention, because if we win, we are putting some margin. We have the possibility to go at 26, which is 4 points more than Milan, 5 points more than Napoli. If we win, it's a beautiful day. Even if we would not be first, it's a beautiful day. That was it for me. I have nothing else to say. So I hope you appreciated that mini recap, that you appreciated that I try to be as partial and objective as possible on the first controversial fall from Napoli. I hope that I explained a bit that the goal of Atalanta honestly should have been cancelled. So I try to be partial, but of course speaking with a Juve heart. So grazie, maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe if you didn't yet. Grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao.